probably the most simple and impactful one is always starting a meeting with a check-in. The check-in being a moment where people say, everyone in the room gets to announce how they're feeling, or like, what are they arriving with, or just what's going on. And so basic and so powerful to signal like, hey, it's in some way everyone's voice is important. And it might not be that we're all talking all the time and that's like a co-created agenda or something, but that we are, like it's important that we hear your voice. It's important that we know how you're showing up. And for people that haven't had that experience, there's a lot of us, I'm sure, like the stuff that you do with your community and the people that we're sort of familiar with, like a lot of us are familiar with doing check-ins. It's like kind of a normal practice. But for people that are not used to doing that, it really makes a difference. I always hear that report when we're working with more like traditional organizations.
My sense has been that the fruitfulness of these regular check-ins is related to their regularity, not necessarily their length. It's not a deep counselling session that needs to happen every time. It's just almost every time we meet doing some form of a check-in, even if it's just 1 minute, 2 minutes, giving everyone on the screen an opportunity to say how they're doing, what the major things in their lives are, and giving a few prayer points perhaps. Someone could even take notes of the prayer points. I know that happens in some groups, and brings them up regularly to see whether they've been answered or whether there's any progress. You might get some people showing a bit of reluctance. I think we've sometimes found that newcomers think that they're just joining a Bible study, so they think, well, what's the point of this sort of regular thing? And you're just wasting time at the beginning of a meeting. But slowly, hopefully, they learn actually these are really valuable. And I think the people who've been in the groups longest really get the impact, the effectiveness, and the importance of these kinds of things. Just regularly checking in, seeing how one another are, especially nowadays, because before it would have happened as you were chatting in the corridor in someone's house or over food. But now we don't have those moments, so we need to create them in order to keep up the connection in the groups. I'm sure loads of you are already doing this, but I think it's just helpful for us to reflect on it, and perhaps you'll have some ideas on how to freshen that up. One way that we're thinking of doing it, because maybe asking the question, how are you doing every week, is a bit boring. But we're trying to introduce perhaps some non-cheesy icebreaker questions that are related to that week's Bible study topic, so that it does feel related. It sort of opens up the discussion, but it also helps you to get to know one another that bit better. So that might help. I'm sure there's going to be different ways, and you guys can share some of the things that you've also done. So that's check-ins, that's increasing connection. Next, we're going to think about deepening connection.